And we are back, everyone. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone. We are back with another episode of Subject to Change. How are we today?
Episode?
Yeah, we're not. We don't care about what episode this is.
We don't care that it's episode 28. We're not bothered.
Wrong.
No, I'm not. It's episode 28. I've been putting up content. I know it's episode 28.
See how you doubt yourself every time I say wrong? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, before we start,
Go on. Let's go.
if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, stop what you're doing right now. Go into the app and give us 5 stars.
Please do.
If you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcast, stop what you're doing right now and go and give us 5 star. If you're listening to this podcast on SoundCloud, stop what you're doing right now and follow us.
And follow us.
And like the podcast.
And like the podcast.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, stop what you're doing. Subscribe. Like. Give us a comment. Maybe even add it to your favorites.
Give it a comment. Give it whatever comment you want. We've been having some funny comments.
But hold on.
Go on then.
We're not going to say anything for 10 seconds while you do what I just asked. Thank you very much.
They should have been able to do at least one of those platforms.
Yeah, at least one of those.
At least one of them.
Whichever one you're listening to, that's the one we appreciate the engagement with. It helps us.
And if not, fix up. You're pathetic.
Yeah, and also follow us on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. So on TikTok, it's been an interesting one.
It's been funny.
It is. So we posted a video recently talking about the importance of matching. I've just lost my words. Sorry. With the importance of talking about matching sex drives in a relationship, and that video is now almost at 700,000 views. It's over 700,000 views, which is mad. It is mad. It's a small milestone, but it is still pretty nuts that we posted this video and it's just like, yeah, it's got 700,000 views, which is cool. We have been getting a load of interesting comments. It's been a wide range, and some of the negative comments are absolutely fucking amazing. So we can actually get some of them up if you like.
So yeah, we're gonna go through some of those comments because they're funny. But firstly, we're gonna play it. We're gonna play it for you all, in case you haven't actually, in case you haven't even seen it or heard it. But we talked about it in the last episode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We touched on it briefly because someone made a comment. It was because of their feedback. That's why we spoke about it. Yeah.
What feedback?
I think we got feedback and they were like, but I disagree with the... They gave good feedback. They're like, but I disagree with the video. And I was like, yeah. Appreciate that. And I had spoke a bit about it at the beginning of the last podcast. Yeah. We did.
Yeah, but the video that went viral was from the original podcast.
Oh, okay.
From 26.
Oh, fair.
Not the last one.
Oh, fair.
So that you're wrong there again. But anyway.
Do you know what's mad?
Yeah, let me hear it.
Whilst you're getting that loaded. It's so nuts how, like, when I posted that, you never know what's going to go viral. You never know what's going to hit or what's going to stick. Like, there are some videos I've posted, I'm like, that is definitely going to fucking go off. That one, when I posted it, I was like, nah, it's probably like just going to get a couple of thousand views. And
opinions, isn't it?
I thought it's going to get a couple thousand views, but we'll just keep building on it. And that one's just like, and it's gone through these peaks of like, got a couple of 100,000 the first few days, then stopped, and now it's up to
700,000
in a couple of weeks as well. In a couple of weeks, it's gone to 700,000. I reckon it'll get to 1 million
comments.
Mad.
27,000 likes. Crazy. But right, we will play this so y'all can hear it.
The person with the lower libido basically has final veto power. They're basically going to decide when you can't have sex.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, the big issue with that is not only do they have the final say, but they expect you to be okay with it. Be okay with the fact you're not going to have as much sex as you like.
Yeah.
And be completely monogamous at the same time.
Yeah. Which
is where I think a big issue is created and a lot of relationships can become quite stale.
There you go.
And that's the one that's got our biggest views so far. So we've had a lot of interesting comments on it, which has been quite... Have you got any of the comments there with you?
I do.
Oh, he's got something.
So if you didn't catch that, Dan is saying that the person with the lower libido has final veto power on whether you have or don't have sex. And that with having that problem, if something isn't done about it, then they obviously expect you to just be in the relationship potentially unhappy with the idea that you're not getting important needs being met. So
And again, that's not like it's not like a gender specific thing. It's just anyone can be feeling that. Anyone can have a lower libido or a higher libido and want needs met. And I think, you just need to communicate those needs. And if it can't be met, then reassess.
Yeah, so initially it was quite funny because initially like a lot of it, because it's an important conversation, because obviously in that podcast I said, people can have different levels of libido, obviously naturally, but also there are so many other external factors and internal factors that can affect someone's libido. Could be the length of time you've been with that person. It could be something, I guess, that they've done negatively towards you that could actually affect your libido and maybe have you not wanted to have sex with your partner. And you could be going through some family shit. You could be going through some stuff in work. So there's so many different aspects of life that can affect someone's libido. So I think it's very... saying high and low libido can be like it's too much of the a siloed comment, but a lot the comments were hilarious. So one person says, so responding to the video, someone says, or you grow up and realize that you don't get what you want 24/7. This isn't the take you think it is. Pseudo intellect.
Oh my god, that is just amazing. That's incredible. I think that a lot of people that commented were just like triggered, and you can see the way they comment and the way they communicate. They've been on the bad end of that video, because they've been feeling like they haven't been able to communicate or match that kind of expectation. And
but also with stuff like that, it's a level of reading in between the lines. Like,
of course,
you said what you said, obviously, but then automatically people just assumed, men trying to put pressure on women, and we're like, he literally didn't mention any genders in that comment. This can be a same-sex situation, could be gay, it could be bisexual, it could be lesbian, it could be whatever. So those comments were just completely pushed to the side, because the fact that you just think this is a man being a higher sex drive to a woman with a lower, that's your sexist point of view as well, where you're assuming just because it's a lower sex drive, it's always going to be the woman. And you did have women commenting saying they have the higher sex drive when it comes to with their partner, with their husband or whatever. And they say it's also an issue with them. So that completely negated. And then with this 24/7, you don't get what you want 24/7. I think it comes from a place where that's such a very immature mindset to have as well. It's
so black and white to say that. I'm not
white.
saying I want something 24/7. It's not about that, but it's like have a level of communication.
Yeah, and relationships are just... it's you always trying to compromise and negotiate with your partner. Yeah. It's like, okay, you maybe don't naturally have a higher sex drive than me or a higher libido, but what can we do to make this work?
I saw a couple of comments where people were like, I disagree with it because me and my partner, we communicated and we came to an even ground. I'm like, well, you've just answered the fucking video.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of where I'm coming from. It's like, well, you have communicated. You've both decided you're okay where things are. And so from that, you're now happy to be with each other. I'm like, but that's the whole point. Yeah. It's, if those things aren't addressed, then they do fester. And then that's how things can become, more stale. And
also with that comment about, you don't always get what you want 24/7. It's like, it's the completely whatever it is like deal with it attitude. And if people have that kind of mentality, it is almost like your feelings don't matter to me whatsoever.
Well, you can't match my emotional needs. Well, it is what it is. Just accept it.
Yeah,
it's
accept
just like, what
you've
do you
got
mean?
a higher libido. I don't want to have sex. You either accept it or you don't. You know
exactly.
what I mean? And to a level of that, obviously, if the person doesn't want to have sex, you don't have sex. But it's like, we need to communicate and figure out what's going to be the best way for us to navigate through this, if it's someone that you actually see yourself with.
Someone was like, sleep with her sister. I'm like, that's a fucking
great idea.
I was like,
good idea.
Well, that's a good idea, mate.
Another comment says, nobody's libido is the same. Some days you might not want it, and other days your partner might not want it. Simple as that. Which is 100% true.
Yeah, of course.
I think that one was one of the best ones. I thought it was simple, effective, And I agree. There's some days you'd wake up and you think, I could think of nothing worse.
Someone was like, so you're suggesting rape? I was like, whoa!
Yeah, I was just
whoa!
like, where did that come from?
What the fuck is going on? And everyone was like, what are you on about? Where's this comment just coming? Like,
It's
whoa! Let's all just calm down, take a step back.
Whenever I saw that comment, I was like, how does your mind go from higher and lower sex drive to then obviously you're just going to try and rape your partner? I was like, what are you talking about?
Jesus Christ.
I swear TikTok comments are just so funny.
So good.
So funny. This person says, if someone doesn't want to do something, they shouldn't have to. If your partner was, and then they went and used an analogy, if your partner was athletic and went for runs 6 times a week, but you weren't athletic and they didn't want to go for runs 5 times a week, should you have to go on runs 5 times a week just because your partner wants to? Accept the fact that you don't always get what you want, and you should never want to make your partner do something they don't. And I was just like, in this term, I was just like, that's a very, very shit analogy for me. I see where they're going with it, but it's just like
we don't always have to have the same hobbies, but it's this is like it's different. It's like a mutual hobby that you like connect with each other on.
No, I don't think that's what they mean. It's like, so for example, with the analogy that they're using, it's just like, if your partner wants to have sex with you 6 times a week and you don't want to have sex with them, you can't expect them to do it. But then it's almost as if like, well, if you're going to compromise, you could say, okay, if your partner goes out running 6 times a week and they want you to run with them, you don't need to run with them 6 times a week. You can run with them twice a week.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to run with them, you can run with them 3 times a week. So then it's not like you're having to do it all the time.
Yeah, it's a compromise.
You're doing it, but you're not doing it as often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you can, or for example, this person actually says, if your partner runs and wants you to run with them, sometimes I would compromise and I would run with them once a week or ride my bike with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's how simple it can be. It's not a matter of always having to put out for your partner if they're interested. It's a matter of realizing your partner's love language could be physical touch, and a part of physical touch is sex.
100%.
And yours may not be. But that's almost like if one of your love languages, was words of affirmation, but you can't expect your partner to always be telling you, oh my God, I love you, you're so beautiful. Yeah. Like that just would be weird. So you kind of like compromise, like every so often you get a little compliment here and there, which makes you feel great. Same with the physical touch aspect. They come around, you want to have sex. Not today, but then
someone said, so with that kind of mindset, it's like my job isn't paying me enough, so I should go out and rob a bank to get more money. I was like, or just get a better job.
Or no, because that means you're going to leave your partner.
No. Or if one sec. Or
ask for a pay rise.
No. But it's either A, ask for a pay rise, but why you got to fucking rob a bank? Maybe if you can't like get what you need,
you're just like change jobs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What horrible advice.
Maybe if you can't get what you need from that job, you need to reassess and look for something that can give you more of what you need. Why does it mean you got to go rob a bank? You would just find a job that's better tailored towards what you're looking to achieve.
Yeah.
You know,
don't need to move a job.
Get a fucking new job. Fucking dumb.
Just speak to your manager and ask for a pay rise.
And if she says no, well then really, you got to get a new job, haven't you? Like end of the day, if you go to your manager and speak to them and ask for all these things, and go, nah, we can't do any of it. Well, then I need to reassess and potentially leave.
Yeah, because you're not giving me exactly what I need and want. You know what I mean?
What about the most recent one today?
What did that one say?
Fucking ball bag.
This one triggered Dan for some strange reason. So we got another comment this morning right before we recorded the pod, and Dan likes to move his hand around quite a lot, like when he speaks.
I'm a very passionate speaker.
So this person commented saying, in asterisk, moves hands to appear more intelligent than he actually is.
Yeah, one sec. Yeah. We're not going to throw this person under the bus, but Alex Armstrong 435, you're a fucking tit.
But he commented on a public forum, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, I'm only joking. But I'm going to find where you live, mate.
Alex Armstrong 435. He is a dog.
Feel free to jump on his page and throw some shade.
Yeah, we haven't got that kind of power. But those comments have been great. But basically, the overarching, I guess the overarching comment that we want to make in that is the idea that your libido is never going to be equally matched with someone that you're with, especially over a long period of time. Things are going to change. Life happens. The person you meet at the start of a relationship is not going to be the same person that you're with in 5 years. So if the libido or what you perceive to be a fall in libido, there could be due to a number of different reasons, but we think it's so important to actually communicate, compromise, find out what the issue is, and then how you can combat that to make sure that everyone in the relationship is bloody happy.
There we go. It's just about communicating. Just like communicate your needs and just see what happens. I think loads of people don't communicate because when you do, you're bringing something to light and you might not get the answer that you want from a situation.
Yeah.
That's the main reason why they just think, oh, if we don't talk about it, well then maybe
it's not a thing.
Everything will be fine in the end. Yes, it's not a thing. I'm not creating an issue and we'll just carry on and it will just go.
And you could be no further from the truth.
Exactly.
It'll just make it worse.
So one of the things we've got a few good things to talk about today. We came into this a bit naked, with not much, but we've actually got a couple of good things for today.
I was naked. I was fully dressed.
Yeah, mentally naked. You know what I mean?
Naked.
Yeah, I was mentally naked. Yeah. But the first thing we're going to talk about is PostNut Clarity.
Oh God.
Oh, juicy. So, what do you want to PostNut Clarity?
What do I do?
So, do you think, first of all, PostNut Clarity is a thing?
Yes, it is.
So, to give like a really easy an overview of what PostNut Clarity is. PostNut Clarity is the fact that is it just like a male?
Nah, I would say women maybe.
Is it? Or it's basically...
they probably don't, not as much as we do, sadly.
Yeah, because I've heard it coming from like a lot of men, so I don't know. This could be everyone.
Let us know, ladies.
Yeah, let us know. I'm not sexist. But anyway, so from what I understand, PostNut Clarity is that basically when you finish, when you ejaculate, you're you've got a clearer mind. The wool's been pulled back over your eyes. The wool's been pulled from your eyes, and you can kind of maybe see that person for more of what they're like. So as an example, you ever bring someone back, you're on a night out, you meet a bird, you're like, oh mate, she is class, getting along, everything's amazing. You bring her back, you shag, you finish, and then suddenly you get this feeling of, can you please just leave? And so that is PostNut Clarity. That feeling is PostNut Clarity, because all the things you felt before, suddenly they disappeared and you want them to leave so you can order a pizza and play some Call of Duty. Or play FIFA. Yeah, FIFA. So that feeling is PostNut Clarity. And it's really interesting because I think it could be pulled into so many different scenarios. So one of the ones that we've spoken about before is, you could be seeing a couple of, different birds and you might not have seen them for a while and you've been at home, you've been in bed, and then someone messages you. You're like, hey, do you want to come over? And there's something in your mind that's like, do I really want to go and see them? Like, do I actually enjoy their company or am I just horny as fuck? And what you've said in that scenario, or when you're going to make a bad decision. When you're going to make a bad decision, like sleeping with an ex, for example, have a wank. Have a wank. See how you feel afterwards. And if at that moment you're still very keen, fair enough.
Yeah.
Get an Uber. Go there. But 9 times out of 10, you'll probably have PostNut Clarity. And you'll be like, probably not the best decision. So have you ever had those moments?
I have. I have for sure. And it obviously comes from a level of when you think about science, and it's a build-up of testosterone,
hormones and
everything. So hormones and testosterone and all that affect our decisions every single day. Even when it comes to sports, having a heightened level of testosterone and hormones in your body before you perform in a sports. A lot of boxers, if they've got partners or if they sleep around, or if they have a wife or a husband or whatever, like there's a lot of boxers who talk about the fact that they don't actually have sex or masturbate leading up to big fights because they want to keep as much testosterone in their body for the energy, for all that. So that's completely fair and comes from a very scientific point of view. But yeah, I've had it before. And where I've done it, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely staying in bed.
That's a weird feeling. I've had it when I've organised a first date. I know, I've had it when I've organised a first date, and I'm like, it's been like a couple of days maybe since I've cracked one out, and I'm like, oh, I should, just in case, I want to make sure I can at least perform. So, I crack one out, and then afterwards I'm just like, I do not want to go on this date anymore. I'm like, oh.
Do you still go?
I have gone because I'm like, they're going to be there in like an hour or something. I'm like, oh.
Okay, you're obviously not going to cancel.
I know, I'm like, oh, I can't cancel it now. I'm like, oh, I do not want to go. But, you know, a couple of margaritas down.
It's not a nice feeling having it. Especially if they're like in your bed. You're just like, oh.
I know, you're like, can I just slip you into something more comfy like an Uber or something?
You feel bad.
Yeah, I know. Oh, and you know, I have spoke to girls and they've said the same thing when a guy's been there and they're kind of just like, so I've got a really busy day tomorrow. And that's usually the thing. It's usually the thing. These like statements you throw out of, so what are you doing? Like if it's the night of, you know, I've got a really busy day tomorrow. Yeah, I really got to get up early. It's just a hint, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Or if it's in the morning, what are you doing today? You got much on? You got a busy day? Basically, get the fuck out of my apartment.
Or maybe they're just interested in what you're doing that day.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there's a very slim chance. Actually, I don't give a fuck. Get out. Get the fuck out.
I'm actually so free today. I have nothing planned.
I've got nothing to do.
Yeah.
You know what? I had this once. There's this... I went on a date with this chick, like over a year and a bit ago. And she stayed over. And in the morning, I was like, oh, man, I've got such a busy day today. And she was like, oh, yeah, I'm just so comfy in bed. And I was like, yeah, no, I've just got such a busy day today. Oh, God, I really need to get going. We really need to get up. She's like, yeah, I'm just going to go back to sleep a little bit. I was like, twice now I've said this. And I was just sitting there and I rested for like another 20 minutes and I was like, yeah, God, I really, really need to crack on with the day. She went, I know, it's just so comfy in bed. I went, nah, that's it. We're getting up. Get up. Come on, let's go. I'm going to get you a coffee. We're going to get going. Here's your shoes. I sat up, undid her laces on her shoes. I was like, we are getting going.
Did you know her?
No, we've been on the first date.
Oh, it was the first date?
Yeah, it was just first date. And then we went to the coffee shop just up there. And then it was a good way to get people out. I'm always like, oh, let's get a coffee. I'll get us a coffee. So I'd get him a coffee at that coffee shop. Be like, right, I'm off now. See you later. And then just go back home.
I hope no one you've ever dated has listened to this and hears that. So that little shit just wanted to get me out of his place.
What a
Were you living here?
Yeah, I was living here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. It was good. I thought it was a good method. You know, I'm offering to buy you a coffee. Oh my God, that's so nice. Get the coffee. Get the fuck out.
That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, PostNut Clarity is definitely a thing.
It is. And do you know what? If you do get PostNut, or if you do have sex with someone, and afterwards you don't have that feeling, then you probably get along with them really well. And
it's a good feeling whenever you want them to stay in the bed.
Yeah, they're like, you know, oh, should I leave? You're like, no, you can stay.
It's a good feeling.
You can stay. It's 1 a.m, so maybe in about 2 hours we should probably leave. But
shout out to all the gal them out there that be staying. But yeah, I've had it before. I'm just like, oh, because normally before that it's like, yeah, you're sweet because obviously in your mind you're horny, whatever.
You're so horny, and you're just a walking hard on.
Oh God! And then when you push, you're like, ah, damn it. Please leave.
Is there a song that you could like put on to just like subconsciously be like,
I can't think.
Get out right now, just.
This is the end of you and me.
It's too late. You took. Fuck, that would be incredible. Sorry, you trying to say something? No, that's so weird. It was just on shuffle.
Oh, damn it, Alexa, shut up.
Or you had like 10 songs in a row that are just like that. I really don't know. You've got an album dedicated to get the fuck out. Fucking hell.
What do you have to talk about today?
I think a really interesting thing to talk about is the rotation or the roster. So the rotation in terms of casual dating. So when you casually date, and we've spoke about this on episode 6 with the boy Detox, casual sex etiquette, give it a listen. We spoke about the rotation. So essentially when you're casually dating, ideally in this situation, you want to have, I'd say like 2 to 3 people who you're sleeping with. The main reason for that, DYP. So diversify your portfolio. I think we coined that on episode 6 as well, and the boy Detox uses that now as well. So diversify your portfolio. So the reason why you want to be sleeping with a couple of people, especially if it's casual, is so you don't catch loads of feelings for that person. How do you know when you're on someone's rotation? So I was sleeping with someone a while ago, and they actually told me they knew that they were on my rotation, and I was like,
How'd they know that though?
fuck, how do you know? And they'd be like, because we'd have a date, and then they'd be like, oh, do you want to hang out next week? It would be like maybe on a Thursday. I've seen them. They're like, oh, what are you doing next week? And at the time, I had a few people on the rotation, and so with a rotation, you'd see someone, and then you might not see them for another week or two because you might be seeing someone else. And anyway, because you can't go on 4 or 5 dates every single week. It's it's too well. It's a lot of effort. Do you know what I mean?
Very expensive.
Anyway, so this person was like, I knew that I was on your rotation because I'd see you, and then I'd be like, what are you doing next week? And I'd be like, oh, I'm actually busy next week, but I'm free the week after. I'm actually free on the Tuesday. I'd always like book something in, so it's like there, so it's not like I'm just pieing someone off.
Yeah.
Anyway, they started noticing that was a pattern. Every time they'd see me, they go, cool, what are you doing next week? I'm actually busy that week, but I'm free the next week after on Thursday. And they'd be like,
lining dates up 3 weeks in advance.
And they were like, I could tell that I was on a 2-week rotation. It was every fortnight, clockwise, every single fortnight.
That's hilarious.
And then also, I'd be like, hey, what are you doing tonight on like a Friday? And I'd be like, nah, not much, I'm just chilling. And then I wouldn't reply to their message until the next day. It'd be like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock, and I wouldn't reply to their message till the next day.
Yeah.
And they'd be like,
you're obviously with someone?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah. You're obviously dating other people. You're obviously like, they're on a rotation. So I think it's a very interesting thing because no one ever told me that before.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, at the time I was like, yeah, this is, it's working, it's smooth and all that. And I was like, fuck, I didn't actually realize that would actually be something that someone would clock onto.
There's probably times I've been on rotation, but I just don't. I think my issue is I just don't care enough about what other people are doing with their lives. Outside of so if I'm seeing someone or hanging out with someone, if I was in a rotation, I wouldn't even clock because I just wouldn't care what they're doing outside. If I'm messaging them and they're like, oh, do you want to hang out? And they're like, yeah, we can do next week. I'm busy this week. I would never think anything, oh, they must be hanging out with someone else. I just think, okay, next week. So there's probably times I have been on it. If you listen to this and I've been on your rotation, let me know. I'm intrigued. But there probably were times when I was on one, but I just didn't really clock because I just didn't care enough. Especially for me, if I have no intention of pursuing it to be more than anything than just what it was. I just don't really care.
Yeah, 100%.
As long as you're being safe on their side, I'm sweet.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Did you ever see someone where they were on your rotation? Did you ever see them out on a date with someone else while you were sleeping with them?
No.
Same.
I've never seen. No. I've never been out. Never been sleeping with someone and walked out and seen them on a date. Or have I?
I don't think so. Did someone ever see you on a date while you were seeing them? It's because you always leave Bondi to go on dates. You're like, I can't do this. We're going Parramatta tonight.
I just planned to Brisbane for a weekend. Have anyone ever seen me on a... No, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. No, I haven't.
If they have, then they haven't said.
No.
I've been on a date and her friend has seen me out with someone.
Okay.
They were in the same restaurant.
Fuck.
But I wasn't actually dating her at the time. It was kind of we had stopped. But it was just she must be oh, so and so saw you in this place and she knew the girl as well that I was on a date with, which is even funnier.
I think it's an interesting
funny.
I think it's an interesting concept because the rotation is there, it exists. People have it, but I think it's something that I don't hear many people talk about.
Yeah.
But it's they have it.
Because why would you want people to know that you're doing rotation?
Because I think when you're just not serious about dating whatsoever, I think it's an okay thing to say.
It's definitely okay to date when you're single and especially if you're not looking for 100%. Something serious. Because I think the more you date, the more you learn about what you like and what you don't like.
100%. 100%.
I think if you leave a relationship and then the next time you get in a relationship is the first person you date after, one, you still don't even know what you like and don't like, apart from that with that person that you were just with before. But also you haven't even got a time to figure yourself out, just being completely emotionally unavailable to the world. If you're just going straight back into something, you've not allowed yourself the time to heal from that past relationship. You're not allowed the time to learn to figure out who you are on your own again, because especially if you were in a long-term relationship with your partner previous to that, you would be completely different from the start of that relationship and the end. You'd be a completely different person, whether you think it or not. So for you to then end in that, and then within a couple of months you're back into a new relationship with someone else, I just don't think that's very healthy. So I think whenever you allow yourself the time and the grace to date over a period of time and date multiple people, if you're that way inclined, sleep with multiple people, you're giving yourself the opportunity to figure out what you like and you don't like. And I think that's so important, because whenever you do that, whenever you're ready to settle down, you're then able to literally spot the red flags or spot the things that you don't like, and then you won't waste your time again. Like for me, I know the things that I like and I don't like, so when I spot that in someone, it's kind of like, nah, I'm over it. Just because I've made a conscious decision to kind of figure out my head, and anytime I've like start to feel a certain type of way, I kind of look in and think, why am I feeling like this? What about that person is making me feel this way? It can't just be just me making it up, especially if it's like constant. Like if it happens once, I'm like, oh, that felt weird, I don't know what that is, I'll just leave it. But if it's like constantly making me, like triggering me in some way, I force myself to think, okay, there has to be something here, and I kind of look deeper, and then sometimes you figure it out and sometimes you don't. You just have to maybe not put on the back burner, and then you'll figure it out someday. So yeah,
I think there's so many benefits to dating when you do go through that stage of dating multiple people, because just as you said before, you figure so much out of like your likes, your dislikes. And I know from who I was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, compared to who I am now is completely different. And because I've had so many experiences dealing with so many people, understanding like my basic requirements, and I've been able to now raise that bar, because now I understand what I'm able to, what I can achieve, what I can get, what I can expect from someone. But without doing that, I think, you don't really have like a good understanding of, yourself and what you really want in someone, especially if you just had loads of like long-term relationships. You've just gone from one relationship to like the next. You haven't given yourself breathing space.
You haven't.
And also being alone is so important, and it's very different to being lonely. And I think, being alone is massive. And it isn't just about shagging loads of people and going on loads of dates. It isn't just about, shagging loads of people, but even just going on loads of dates is such an incredible experience, because you just learn so much from other people as well. And, it's fun. And it's a fun experience.
I also think whenever you've allowed yourself the time to be single, then you'll realize that your standards go up.
You can make yourself a lot happier as well.
Yeah, you raise your standards when you allow yourself the time to be single and figure yourself out, because in that time of being single, you start to realize, actually, this is what I like and this is what I don't like. So then that automatically, your standards in whether it's physical, emotional, psychological, it all goes up, and you start to take on less bullshit, and you realize what your worth is. So whenever someone comes in, you're like, he's a piece of shit, she's a piece of shit. Then you just move on, because again, as we all know, there's so many options out there in the world, so there's never any reason to kind of like they'll do, you know what I mean? Like ever.
Do you do the girlfriend experience?
Only with a girlfriend.
So in my mind, when you're like casually dating someone, I think you can still have that where it's like you have like a spoon, you have a cuddle. It's not just about like root and boot.
What? So the girlfriend experience is you spooning?
As in like,
I can't wait for your next girlfriend. Just like, what do you mean? I spooned you this morning.
It's been coined, the girlfriend experience. I've heard this term.
No, the girlfriend experience is more than that, though. The girlfriend experience is,
because it's a girlfriend experience, but she's not your girlfriend. That's the point.
Yeah,
it's
but
the
like,
experience. So what's the experience? What is it then?
I would count girlfriend experience as them cooking for you,
or you can have a deep chat,
or you cooking for them. What?
You can have like a deep. You can have like a good you can have.
That's like standard.
Oh, go on then. Fucking. Wow. Okay.
The girlfriend experience is you being able to have a deep chat with someone.
Okay.
Oh my lord.
Okay. What's your like?
I think girlfriend experience would be something outside the realm of just casual dating. Like, I wouldn't really cook for someone that I'm just like casually dating. So I'll count cooking for someone as like the girlfriend experience. I would say going away for a weekend together as a girlfriend experience. I would say booking a random hotel
For someone you're just casually seeing, you would do that?
If you're talking the girlfriend experience.
No, but like not the girlfriend experience. As an example, so when you like were dating,
But like if you're casually dating someone and you're giving them the girlfriend experience, that's the kind of thing.
if you're like dating multiple people, right?
Oh, why would you wouldn't be given?
This is what I've heard. I've heard there's a phrase coined, even if you're seeing multiple people, where it's like a kind of girlfriend experience where there's more than just they come over and you sleep with them, but there's like you've never heard this before.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I would only give the girlfriend experience if I was like dating one person.
It's like a full girlfriend experience.
Yeah, but I don't.
But it's like
you no.
What's that? No.
I would count the girlfriend experience as if you're casually seeing someone and you're going above and beyond just sleeping with each other. You're doing like that extra thing, like cooking, or like as I said, going away on a weekend, all that sort of shit. Like, yeah, you wouldn't really do a girlfriend experience if you're like sleeping with multiple people.
Yeah, fair.
Because surely there has to be some sort of like emotional connection there if you want to go that extra mile.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, what would you do for your girlfriend experience?
I don't know. I've lost my train of thought now.
Yeah, we've got time.
Sorry?
We've got time.
I think you're right in what you were saying. I think you're right in what you were saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you being stupid?
I don't know. I'm just really hot. I'm just really, really hot. I'm really hot. Yeah, I'm just really hot.
I don't know why he's not answering the question, people. He's been weird.
I think the girlfriend experience. I think you're right. I think it's a phrase that I heard coined, and how I saw it initially in my mind is if you're seeing, let's say, a few people casually, because I know some people where someone comes over and it's like you'll just sleep with them and then they'll leave in the morning. But for me, I guess it would still be like, you could still like get a feed with them. You can still like talk on quite like a personal level about like quite personal things because you're interested in their opinion.
Okay.
You would have like a spoon. You can have like pillow talk even in the morning. You don't just boot them out. You can still like maybe get some food and then like they're off and then they're off. But then that's done until you see them next time.
Okay.
That for me, how I would understand it would be the girlfriend experience in a casual dating sense.
Okay.
Which I think leads into the whole like casual sex etiquette.
Okay.
Like you can still have that whole experience without having
the pressures of
of a girlfriend afterwards.
Okay.
Woo, really explain that one. Fuck, I did myself proud. Wow.
Yeah, I guess from that standpoint.
That's why I work in sales. There we go.
I guess from that standpoint,
does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean,
but of course, if you actually have a missus, you're doing stuff that you do with a missus.
I mean, but in my head, I would fucking stop coughing on that mic.
Sorry, I would never go on a weekend away with someone who I wasn't actually dating. That's like a proper girlfriend,
exactly. Yeah.
Or like someone you're actually dating.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
I'll count that
as
like, a girlfriend/boyfriend experience, though.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, having pillow talk, I think, is just bog standard. I wouldn't count that as.
Maybe it's standard
because at the end of the day, like you shouldn't really be enjoying sleeping with someone that you can't lie there and even have a conversation with, unless you're just completely hollow inside and you just want to like just have sex and then get them to leave.
I think some people are like that.
And if that's the case, like, yeah, that's fine. But I wouldn't count having sex with someone then having pillow talk as like girlfriend experience. I think that's just standard.
Maybe that's just because of like the standard's been set. Maybe that's how that phrase has been coined. Because the standard is so low that's how it's been coined.
Who coined this for you, from a girl or a guy?
I've just heard like the phrase thrown around for like the past while now.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was quite interesting.
Again, it's all very subjective because based on your girlfriend experience definition, it's very different to mine. So yeah, at the end of the day, all this is like such a subjective point of view, and it's just how you deem different scenarios. But yeah, my girlfriend experience is
fair.
Yeah, not pillow talk.
My eye wasn't twitching this time, which is good. On the last one, it was flickering.
You know, if you just act normal, then no one will even. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny though.
Is it?
Yeah, I find it funny.
Okay.
You find it a bit funny.
I don't. I find it very weird. What do you mean? Let's just let you calm down.
I was just sweating. Calm down. I guess if you look, you'll see like the sweat on my forehead. But
it looks dry.
I know it's dried out.
Nah.
Yeah, it's cooled down now.
But it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. A few takeaways from this: PostNut Clarity, have a wank before going on a date. See if you still want to go on a date with them. Diversify your portfolio. I'd say at least 3 people. And
communicate with your partner.
And keep the TikTok comments coming. I think there's going to be a lot of shitty ones from this one. It's going to be very good.
And communicate with your partner.
Communicate with taking our partner.
All right, everyone,
Namaste.
peace.
Peace, stay safe.
Bye.
And happy weekend. Oh, it's oh, yeah.
Why do you always do that?
I know, I just